In the wake of last summer's violence, the Milwaukee Police Department moved to strengthen its relationships with the residents of Sherman Park.
Captain Ray Banks is commander in charge of the Milwaukee Police Department's Office of Community Outreach and Education. Thank you very much for being here. Let me just talk about the 48 hours of this unrest, this violence for a few minutes that we all experienced a year ago. Given all the years that you've been with the police department, all the things that you have learned about being a police officer, was every minute of that testing your core principles of what you knew and what you had to do as an officer?
It certainly was. It was very heartbreaking. My parents owned a home in the Sherman Park area, and they bought the home just about the time that I moved out. So my younger siblings and my son spent a great deal of time in the Sherman Park area. And I know that the people that live in that park, in that area, and the homeowners and the community associations and all of the great people that lived over there, it was very disheartening to see all of the destruction and the things that were occurring there. It had really a personal effect on me. So
what did you do then? What did you say? I got to jump in here.
I knew that I had to do something. It was actually on my off day. And I actually went in and I got a hold of some of the people that work with me, and we all went in and we went down into the area and we tried to determine what we were going to do to try and assist with making this situation better. And one of the things that we did was we reached out to our chaplaincy program, and you'll be talking about that a little bit later, but they were very instrumental in coming into the area and actually calming a lot of the things that were happening.
When you saw that chaplaincy program at work, as a member of this community and as a member of the police department, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel good to know that I was a part of the chaplaincy program, on top of knowing that these were people that were genuinely concerned about what was going on, and they were really out there to make a difference. There was no political agenda or anything else. It was just pure concern about the residents.
So give me a sense as you move forward day by day. A lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty. How did you approach that day, and how did you say, here's how we need to move forward?
Well, one of the things that I always knew, and it really came to the forefront, was that the importance of police and community relations. Police and community relations are huge. For any law enforcement organization to be successful, they have to have a great community relationship with the people that are in the community. That highlighted a lot of what we need and what we need to build on. The districts, they all have community relationships within the geographical areas that we have. My division has citywide geographical responsibilities. So we work hand in hand with the districts to establish these relationships. And as a result of the Sherman Park situation that happened, we all know and come to realize even more so how important community relationships are.
So was there a missing piece that now is in place? Did you say, you know what, let's change this as we move forward?
I'm not sure that there was a missing piece. I think what it highlighted was that we needed to build on it. We needed to build on what was already working and continue to bring more people and more different groups in. The diversity of what we need as part of the community responsibilities really was highlighted at that time. So if there were established community groups that were already in the Sherman Park area, we needed to reach out to some of the groups that were not part of that and bring them into the fold as well.
How has that worked over the last year?
That has worked great. We have worked really hard with trying to establish new relationships, and I think building on those new relationships, we found that people were doing things that other associations were already doing. And now we're bringing all of those things together where we're all doing it together.
So when you look back on a year, and you're probably like, wow, that year went fast. What has changed? Does anything need to change still?
I'm not sure if anything really needs to change as it relates to what occurred last summer, but what I think needs to continue to happen is relationship building. Relationship building and new ideas about how we can move forward, and making sure everyone understands that we need them and they need us.
Okay, everyone being who?
Being the community and the law enforcement community.
Right. So you're talking about people who are invested in the community, businesses, group leaders, faith groups. Are they all at the table?
Everybody, yes. All of those people that you missed. And one of the important pieces that definitely is added in there are the youth. The youth in our community are the future leaders. So we have definitely made sure that we're highlighting the youth that are in that area in particular, because they are very important. And maybe last year prior to this happening, they weren't as involved as they are now, because we realize and understand that the youth do make a difference.
And you've got the Boys and Girls Club there, right?
Yes.
And how do you reach out to the youth? How do you build those relationships?
Well, you have to start by trying to determine who the informal leaders are. And we go out and we determine who the informal leaders are. And we also try and establish different events that would draw them to us.
And you've got an event coming up here, right?
Yes.
Towards the end of the month. Can you tell us about that?
Well, that's going to be a World Peace Celebration, and there are so many partners that I couldn't even start to name everybody that's involved. But it's going to start on a Saturday, August 26th, and it's going to end on that Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be an overnight.
Overnight,
yeah,
yes.
Quite
That's
the event.
going to be really huge, and I think that it's going to highlight the importance of police and community relationships.
Captain Banks, thank you very much for coming in and sharing your story with us.